Tonight we're having a Cabernet. So we're in California this time for the Cabernet. And it's one of my all-time mainstays here at the house, around the makers. And this bottling is the Bard, which is it's a 2009. And the Bard they make a lot of different bottlings. Some single varietal, single vineyard, and some blends. This is a Bordeaux blend. Very typical of sort of left bank Bordeaux, very heavy on the Cabernet Sauvignon, 70% plus. The rest, a little bit of Cabernet Franc, Merlot, and Petit Verdot. It's fruit they buy throughout the valley from Beckstoffer, from White's Vineyard, Cellars, and some of the others. So it's a collection of some of the best fruit they can find, and they make the wine. This run is a very interesting story. It's really a startup, I mean, not anymore, but it was started by Juan and some of his partners in the early 2000s, so 2001, 2002. They started trying to put together the winemaker, the fruit, the location. And so as it started, it was Mike Herbie, whom we know now from Relic. He was the winemaker as he was starting up his own label, Relic. There was Juan Mercado and some of his financial partners. And they they were squatting with somebody else's winery making wine. When we visited them the first time in 2007, they were making wine at Chateau Boswell, which is this beautiful building in Napa that just very sadly got completely destroyed in this summer of 2020 fires out there. It just really breaks my heart when you remember how pretty it was, and it was really like just a French manor house. Anyway, so this goes back to maybe around 20 years. I met these guys a long time ago, and I've been visiting with them. I've been buying their wine, and the startup from the beginning was focused on making really, really good wine, and that's kind of a simple way to describe it. So money was no object. I mean, they raised money. They were just down. There was a lot of passion. They was just down to the wire each time. They didn't even get their own winery until a few years ago when they were able to buy a property. But they were making the wine that they could with all these pieces, and they were off. The ratings were off the charts from the beginning. Now I know people have a problem with some of the way these ratings go, but the wines are amazing. They're not cheap, but they're worth every penny if you like high quality Napa Cabernet, which is it's never really cheap. So let's taste this and then see what we think. I haven't tasted it yet, so it's just been open a couple of hours, airing out, and let's see what we have. On the nose, it's fruity, but not too. Like sometimes the California cabs are very, very fruity. This is really not the case. It's fruity, but it has restraint. So you have a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of cherry, very little, a little bit of licorice, but also the red fruits, which you would expect. And I know it's going to take time to open up some more, but I was worried we're not going to have any left for tomorrow to do the tasting tomorrow, so I figured I'd do it tonight. Very dark color, as you can tell. It's always been one of their characteristics. Just not purple, not brown, really that deep sort of Bordeaux red. And it's really, again, that the finish is very nice. It's softer than I think it would have been 5 years ago when the wine was still young. This is a wine that's just perfect right now. And I think it lost some of this exuberance, which is great because sometimes it's overwhelming. But it's got this really good balance between the fruit, the alcohol, very, very fine tannin. We're talking velvet here. And a very smooth finish. It sort of tapers off. I'm still feeling it, just very slowly. But at the same time, it's got restraint, it's got some discipline. And that's what I've always liked about their wines. It's kind of this mix of just richness and optimism and exuberance, but at the same time, there's a strong, maybe it's because of the rocky soil that a lot of these wines come from, maybe because of something else, but there's a really strong iron sort of lead that sort of sustains all this and backs it up. So it's never really too much in any direction. And I think that's sort of maybe more Bordeaux-like, but without having the austerity of a Bordeaux. I think it's a perfect balance between all these competing elements sometimes. Anyway, this is great. I can't wait to drink some of the other ones, but I mean, again, I've been waiting because I have the 12, 13, 14, 15, and these wines are going to need a little bit more time. So cheers, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon.